Great afternoon, everyone. It's Aloha Friday. We made it. Welcome to the Senate Committee on Public Safety and Military Affairs and Labor and Technology. This is our 3 p.m. DM agenda. We apologize for the late start for a few minutes. Today is March 14, 2025, and we're in conference room 225. This hearing is also being streamed on the Hawaii State Senate's YouTube channel. Just a few housekeeping announcements. In the unlikely case of technical failures, this meeting will reconvene here in conference room 225 on March 17, 2025 at 3 p.m. The content, including the hearing notice, copies of the bills, and testimony, can be found on the legislature's website. If time permits, decision-making will occur after we hear from those offering testimony. We only have one item for decision-making. This is House Bill 1064, House Draft 2. This is relating to fire protection. This effectuates the recommendations of the Phase 3 Forward-Looking Report by Fire Safety Research Institute on the August 2023 Maui wildfires, and further clarifies the role of the state fire marshal and appropriates funds. We did take some time, members, to really do a more deeper dive and had a few questions. But before I think we get into my recommendation for my recommendations with amendments, if we could call back the Senior Advisor for the Governor's Office, Mr. Kane.
Well, Chairs, Vice Chairs, Will Kane, Office of the Governor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kane. So would the Office of the Governor be opposed if we were to set up the state fire marshal in terms of how they hire and appoint to a state fire marshal selection commission, and with some members being advised and consent by the Senate?
No, I don't think that'd be a problem at all. I think it's a good way to kind of bifurcate the process a little bit and have other folks weigh in. So I think the Governor would support that.
Okay, members, any other questions for Mr. Kane? And I know the other concern had to do with removing it from the Office of the Governor and back to the Department of Defense. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So we think it just makes a lot of sense to have in DOD, and obviously statutorily or constitutionally, you can't have a department attached to the Governor. So if we could consider that, that would be appreciated as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. If not, thank you, Mr. Kane. Okay, with that, members, we're gonna roll into decision making. Recommendation here is, and please bear with me as it's quite lengthy in terms of our amendments. So having conferred with the co-chair of Labor and Technology, recommendation here is to pass with amendments. We're gonna accept the Attorney General's proposed amendments in their testimony, with the exception of not incorporating page 2, number 2 of the suggested amendments. We're going to accept the Hawaii Insurance Council's proposed amendments in their testimony. Beginning on January 1st, 2026, there shall be established a State Fire Marshal Selection Commission. The State Fire Marshal Selection Commission will have the authority to appoint and may remove the State Fire Marshal, may receive complaints from citizens on the Office of the Fire Marshal and State Fire Marshal, shall evaluate and conduct an annual performance review of the State Fire Marshal. We're going to place the Office of the State Fire Marshal under the State Department of Defense, kind of how it was originally drafted in House Bill 1064. The State Fire Marshal Selection Commission will post agenda and minutes on the website. State Fire Marshal Selection Commission will be subjected to the State Sunshine Law, HRS Chapter 92. State Fire Marshal Selection Commission may establish administrative rules. The State Fire Marshal Selection Commission shall consist of the following 7 members. The State Fire Marshal Selection Commission shall be attached to the State Department of Defense for administrative purposes. 3 members shall be appointed by the Governor, subject to advice and consent by the Hawaii State Senate, and shall be voting members. For the initial year, 1 member shall serve a 1-year term, 1 member shall serve a 2-year term, and 1 member shall serve a 3-year term for the initial terms. After their initial terms, each member can serve up to 2 consecutive terms for up to 8 years, with each term being 4 years each. 1 member appointed by the Speaker of the House and a voting member and shall serve a 4-year term for the initial year and can serve up to 2 consecutive terms for up to 8 years, with each term being 4 years each. 1 member appointed by the President of the Senate and a voting member and shall serve a 4-year term for the initial year and can serve up to 2 consecutive terms for up to 8 years, with each term being 4 years each. 1 member shall be the chair of the Hawaii State Fire Council or designee and be a non-voting member. 1 member shall be the Adjutant General of the Hawaii National Guard or a designee and be a non-voting member. All State Fire Marshal Selection Commission members, voting and non-voting, shall select the chair of the Hawaii State Fire Marshal Commission and vice chair. The chair shall not be an ex-officio member. Any action taken by the commission shall be approved by a simple majority of its members. A majority of the members of the commission shall constitute a quorum to do business. The members of the commission shall serve without compensation, but shall be reimbursed for necessary expenses, including travel, reasonably incurred in the performance of their official duties. On page 9, lines 6 to 16, this section will dissolve on January 1st, 2026. On page 22, delete lines 10 to 21, delete page 23, delete page 24. On page 25, delete lines 1 to 2, technical amendments, and then we are also going to change the effective date to July 1st, 2077. And I just also want to note that the State Fire Marshal Selection Commission does not duplicate the roles and responsibilities of the Hawaii State Fire Council. And in conferring with the co-chair, this is sort of mirrors what the county fire commission and how it's set up. And so there'll be a process for that. So this won't impede on where the fire council is already going through its process now to select the initial fire marshal. This would be for subsequent fire marshals going forward. And basically that would address some of the concerns in what I've seen in the House drafts that have come over. So with that, any further discussion on the proposed amendments? Okay, if not, for the Committee on Public Safety and Military Affairs, Chair votes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga.
Aye.
Senator Rose.
Aye.
Senator Decort.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Okay, Labor and Technology Committee, same recommendations. I will not repeat it. Senator Moriwaki for the vote, please.
Okay, so our chair votes aye, Vice Chair Lee,
Aye.
Senator Ihara, excused, Senator Moriwaki, aye, Senator Favela,
Aye.
recommendation adopted.
Okay, thank you. This concludes our joint meeting. Have a great weekend, everyone. We're adjourned.